My name is Cassie Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Do you fight all the things that you don't want to have in your life? Do you fight against all the people that are trying to stop you? Do you fight against yourself? Or do you fight for possibility? That's what we're exploring today in the Curious Universe. Thank you for being here on the show. I really want to dive into this topic a little bit with you. I would say, came into the world like a warrior. I always felt like I had to stand up for, the weak. Like I had to fight against my parents. I had to fight against the system. I had to fight against. And somewhere in my world, the belief that I had is that if I could fight against all of this stuff, if I eventually would overcome it all, then I could have the possibility. But I had to fight what was in between me and my possibility. Kind of like, like that, like the mama bear, and then you don't get in between her cubs. So that was me. But if you got between me and something, then I was going to fight you. That's just the intensity that I walked around with all the time. And it's actually quite exhausting. Just think of how your systems have to function with this intensity of fight in your world always. And I actually had this most incredible conversation with his name's Mr. Gary Douglas. I look at him like a mentor. He probably doesn't look at himself that way. He's been someone that has created so much awareness in my life by asking me questions. And he has said to me, said to him, I'm like, I just feel like I'm fighting all the time. And I got to this place in my life where I want to change that. Because like I just said, it was exhausting. And what's so interesting is you'll fight and fight and fight. And the moment something clears out, you're like, something new to fight will come. It's just like, this doesn't work. I'm done. So I'm talking to him about this and I'm asking for his brilliance and his facilitation. He said to me, yeah, well, you have to fight everything that you made true for you that is not true for you. I was like, whoa. And I could see that. And I could see where I was doing that with money. And I could see where I was doing that in my business, my relationships, my body, all the areas of life and living. And then he said, and this was such a beautiful acknowledgement, and it changed my world. Acknowledgement is magic. And he said to me, but what you're actually doing more of is you're fighting for possibility. And I felt like my whole system relaxed, my body relaxed with the acknowledgement of that awareness. Because I did suddenly become aware of where I thought I was fighting against something, that I was actually fighting for something. But even me misidentifying and misapplying what I was doing was creating this havoc in my world. And so then when I started to acknowledge, like, I'm fighting for this possibility, the ease it created, in my system, in my world, in my space of being, was immeasurable. It was so vast. It was so huge. And I wish to gift you a little bit of this energy today so you can look at in your life, where are you fighting for possibility and where are you fighting against? Because when you're fighting for possibility, my experience anyways, is that it's not always easy, but it's ease. And there comes a sense of like a knowing with it and a momentum and this potency as you move forward towards that possibility that you're fighting for. And what you might be fighting for is maybe it's a possibility with wealth. Okay. And so then all the lies that you thought about wealth are going to come up and they're going to try and keep you from wealth. But you can fight against what's coming up. You can fight for what you know is true. Such a different energy. Are you able to perceive that? Now, if not, if you're new to perceiving energy, don't worry about it. That doesn't mean that you're not getting value out of this. The more you practice and the more that you pay attention to these things. So she has like, that's why I like to point it out, because then your awareness grows and you start to be, the maestro of energy that you truly are. So where are you fighting against and where are you actually fighting for? And anywhere you misidentified and misapplied any of those, we're going to use the Access Conscious Clearing Statement. Will you destroy and create that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, POBADs, and beyonds. So those words that I just used, that if you're brand new, you've maybe never heard them, I usually use them on the show. It is called the Clearing Statement. And it comes from something that I've been studying for the last 10 years, which is Access Consciousness. It's a set of tools and techniques that just basically change everything as if by magic. And I love magic. So if you want more information on the Clearing Statement, go to theclearingstatement.com. But for now, we're just going to use it when it shows up, just like a little magic wand. So when you misidentify and misapply things, you have like a vibrational, just perceive it. It goes wonky. It's like you think you're doing this one thing and you've decided you're doing this one thing, but what you're actually doing is this other thing. So everything that bounces off the platform of the misapplication will create incongruencies and miscommunication in your world, right? Now, my beautiful X-Men kid, he is autistic. He is going into puberty. He's becoming a teenager. And parents out there, you can probably relate to what I'm about to say. You're probably already going ding, ding, ding. I know where she's going with this. Well, they have a lot of fight in their world. And I remember it too. Oh my God, I was fighting for my independence. Was fighting for the right to have a voice, even if I wasn't an adult. I was fighting for control over my life. I was fighting everyone through my teenage years. And so I see my kid doing that. And from the observer, so when it's not you in it, and you can zoom out, it's fascinating because I can see him do it. But what he's really fighting is actually against his own possibilities. And it's like, whoa, where have I done that? This is the gift of having, conscious kids, and because they'll show you stuff that you're doing or that you have done. And then you can use that to actually like clear out your own universe and create something more. And so I looked at that and I'm like, wow, I still do that where if something's too easy, if something's like too easy, like, oh, that money was too easy, or I did a job and it was too easy, I'll be like, oh, maybe I should do the job 3 times over because it shouldn't have been that easy. So like, so I'm like, the possibility I created was so much ease, so much speed of space, all done. And then because I decided that it's only valuable if it took longer, I fight against the miracle I just created. So for him, he's fighting against his own possibilities, these miraculous things that are coming into his life. And no, it's not all perfect. But what would it be like for him to start fighting for his possibilities? And we had this amazing conversation this morning, and I could perceive it just turn around. I could perceive him go, yeah. What if I fought for possibility? So whatever you put your attention on, it gets energy, right? Like you're feeding it. You feed everything you resist. You feed everything you fight. So if you're fighting for your possibility, you're feeding your possibility. If you're fighting against, then you're feeding the against. You're using your own energy to like create an army to fight you. So insane it is. I can laugh because I've done it. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at me. All the possibilities that I fought out of existence. What are all the possibilities that you weren't willing to fight for? I'm a recovering romantic. I'm still in recovery. And I've definitely had some epic loves this lifetime. And you know what's funny? One, I fought for possibility, and one, I didn't. I didn't fight for it. And he didn't fight for it, or at least it didn't appear as though he fought for it. And it ended. My sense is much before its time, you know? And I had to look at that, and I'm like, So I wouldn't fight for that possibility, but I'm willing to fight against someone's stupidity. I'm willing to fight against the system. I'm willing to fight against the ridiculousness of other people's insanity. What? But I wouldn't fight for that possibility? So what possibilities did you not fight for that if you would have been willing to fight for, would have actualized a totally different reality for you? A totally different world for you. And at the time, I kind of thought I was fighting for the possibility. But now with, some space and really looking at it, I didn't. How do I know? Because, I always win. If I'm going to fight for something, you bet I'm going to get it. And you're probably like that too. I guess if you were even drawn to this episode and you're watching and you're fired up and you have that tendency to go to battle, don't you always win at the things you truly desire, at the things that truly create more in your life? So where can you apply this? Like, let's start to bring this into your own curious universe, right? Maybe look back for a minute and look at, when did you not fight for a possibility? I know people will be like, I'd really love to go to like this class. I'd really like to choose blah, 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 right? And they say that to me. And I'm like, it's an interesting energy, because it's like, like if it shows up while I'm sitting on the couch. And then you suggest one small action they could take. And they're like, Yet they know the possibility. They're actually aware of it. They got clear on it. They were like, actually, this would totally open up my life. This would change the thing I've been saying for so long I want to change. But they won't even take an action. They won't even register for a class. There's something energetic that happens. I just want to take the time to say this for all of you that have ever taken any kind of workshop, any kind of class. Registration, often you register for something before you even do payment. Okay. So if you're like, I'd really like to go to this, or I'd really like to, say it's you want to book a trip, or you really, all these things, right? There are action steps you can take that will start to move the energy into that direction. And a lot of people don't even take that first action step. They keep saying they want it, but registering for a class is literally logging in, clicking, I would like to go, and you click a little button. You don't have to pay, nothing happens. It's so easy. It takes less than 5 minutes, but I can't tell you how many people have said, I want this so bad. I'm choosing this. I'm 100% in. They won't even take that action. So what are they fighting? They're fighting against their possibility. Now, it might not look like fighting because it's just inaction, right? But what you have to know is that the moment you tap into something and you're like, from consciousness, from your knowing, you go, whoa, that would create so much for me. The universe is already moving you there. You're already on the path. It's like imagine like you're on a river, right? And you're on your boat and you go, oh, that way. And then the whole river starts to flow that way. So for you not to arrive, you actually have to fight against the current and try and redirect yourself. So the action to register is just part of that movement in the water. Now it might be, let's say if it was booking a trip, you might not have the cash yet for the trip. But if you went and like looked at your schedule and maybe booked it off work, do you see how you just moved the flow? You contributed to like the rapid water going whoosh, which would actually allow the money to show up. So many people don't even take that action. Oh my God, I'd love to take a trip in this February. Okay, cool. Like, when do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. I'll look at it later. And they don't. So would they actually like it? And sometimes it's just that we don't want to do things and we're not being honest with ourselves. That's the thing. We have that thing, right? But other times you're actually resisting the possibility that you're aware of. So what if you stopped fighting yourself? What if you stopped fighting against everything? Look at this with money, okay? So what if you fought for money, fought for having money in your life? If you were like, I'm having money, I'm having wealth, I will not continue to function from survival with money. I will have rival. I will do anything it takes. I will be anything. I will choose anything. I will have anything. This is the fighting for possibility. This is everything better get out of my way because I'm having this. I'm having this. Okay, so that's fight for possibility. Now here's the other energy. I would really like to change this money thing. I'm really frustrated. I really feel pathetic. And then something shows up, okay? The universe goes, take this class, or here's a workshop, or here's an investment opportunity, okay? And you tap in and you're like, oh my God, like I'm vibrating. This matches like the wealth I've been asking for. And then you go, oh, I don't really have the money though. And oh, you know what? I should probably, because I already have this other thing and I'll do this thing instead. And people would be mad at me if I don't do this other thing. And I only have limited funds. I don't even really have the time. You're literally fighting against yourself. Are you actually willing to have wealth? Or the other thing, you get mad and you want to fight the money system. Money's stupid. It's corrupted. Look at all these awful people that are just they take money and all your energy is in like, I'm going to energetically fight the system of money as though that's going to bring you money. If someone wants to fight with you all the time, do you want to go hang out with them? I'm pretty sure money is the same way. Doesn't really want to hang out with someone that's judging them and wants to fight them. Notice your mind. So if you think of something like money, does all of this intensity and this fight about the insanity of money, the way the system isn't working, what should happen, what's not happening, how your government's wrong, how you are just energetically fighting the system. And what that's doing is it's feeding the system. Your energy of fight feeds everything that you fight. So you're actually making it harder for the conscious folk that are looking to create a new reality with money. I would like to create a new reality with money and wealth on this planet. Like, it's so exciting for me and so possible. And I'm willing to fight for that possibility. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to facilitate classes. I'm willing to travel the world. I'm willing to show up. I'm willing to take the action for the possibility of wealth. But I had to give up where I was trying to fight the system of wealth as though that was going to bring me wealth. In your relationship, are you fighting your partner because you want peace and love? I did that too. It didn't work. I don't know if it worked for you, but it's not worked for me. The more I fought, the more energy I was giving to the things that didn't work in the relationship. What is the possibility in your relationship that's worth fighting for you? What's the possibility in your life for you this lifetime in the world that's worth fighting for you? And if you don't have anything, then maybe you need to ignite some fire in your life, some desire, some awareness of possibility. What are you willing to fight for? And every time I say it, fight for possibility. There's no energy of force, strain, stress. It's actually more the energy of I will show up, even if it's inconvenient. I will take action, even if I have fear come up, even if I have doubt come up, even if my little mind is telling me something's impossible, I'm still going to show up. Now fight against force, judgment, exhaustion, frustration. You will not change the system by fighting it. How many people have tried? You will not change the world by fighting the world. You will not change this reality by fighting this reality. You will not change your relationship by fighting your relationship. You will not change your body by fighting your body. You will not change your money by fighting money and the financial institutions. If that worked, everything would be different already. Everything would be different by now. Sure, there might be moments where you see some change. Absolutely. And then you get all excited. And then you think, okay, that's it. Yes, I found the way. It's not sustainable. It doesn't last. Because the next thing to fight is going to come your way. The universe will give you all the battles that you need. So that's where your attention goes. And where your attention goes, it grows. What are the possibilities with this earth? And what if you fought for them when it was required? You don't have to be in a state of fight, but willing to show up and be that steward when it's asked for, when consciousness calls. What is the possibility with money on this planet, with exchange, with cash, with wealth? What is the possibility? What is your possibility with wealth? So go into your universe. What's your possibility with wealth that you've never imagined possible? What's your possibility with relationship that you've never imagined possible? What's the possibility with your body that you've never imagined possible? Friendships, parenting, your kids, everything. Would you tap into those possibilities? And what if it was more valuable to you to go for that, to nurture and nourish the possibilities than to fight against things that are saying it's not possible. Okay, cool. You don't think it's possible? That's okay. You can watch me make it possible, or you could go away. So all my warrior friends, your ability to be the warrior is amazing and valuable, powerful and potent and glorious. And what if you were using it to your advantage? What if you were actually using it to create a greater world for you, a more possible world for you? Would you be willing to give up to end the fight against? And be the choice for possibility that you came here to be? So what if we actually didn't come here to fight? And yet you can fight for when it's required. And it's so empowering to know that, to know like you can breathe fire, pick up your sword, destroy that which dares to eliminate possibility. You don't have to walk around like that. You probably won't even show up that often once you really choose to be the possibility rather than fighting against. But you'll always have that capacity. So what possibilities could you be fighting for? What possibilities could you be willing to fight for? Because it doesn't mean that you actually have to fight. But when you're willing to fight, when you're willing to fight for possibility, it actually changes everything. It actually makes it so that most of the time you don't have to fight. When you're not willing to fight for possibility, and when you're more targeted on fighting against, how much ease are you missing? And joy are you missing? And glory are you missing in your life? So anything that doesn't allow you to be willing to fight for all the possibilities that would create a greater universe for you, a greater life for you, a greater world for you. Well, you just trying to create that. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, bad, all night, shorts, boys, but what's me honest. I had this show up just recently. I was invited to this like intensive business mentorship program, and the financial commitment was beyond my means. And I looked at that and I asked my business, like, what will you be like at the end of the year? And it was so phenomenal, incredible, and powerful. And I perceived that possibility. And I'm like, okay, so I could come up with every excuse in the book and not choose this. That's easy. I can do that. And I can fight against this glorious possibility coming into my life, coming into my business, altering reality itself. Or I could fight for this possibility. I could do whatever it took. I could choose anything, be anything, lose anything to have this possibility. Is this possibility valuable enough to me to fight for it? And I got yes. Yes. So I leaped in, not knowing how it was going to work out, not knowing what was on the other side, other than the awareness of that whisper of possibility. And it has been a roller coaster. But also it's been igniting something in my own universe and my business that is even beyond what I can define to you today. And I'm so grateful for myself for choosing it. I'm so grateful for myself for willing to fight for that possibility. And it's a continued fight, because then after the money stuff's out of the way, then it's like, oh, the time stuff. Oh, this stuff. And as I'm going through this year-long process of transforming my universe, there's moments where I have to fight for this possibility again. I have to be that energy again. I have to be willing to do whatever it takes to have what I said I wanted, was that big, glorious, grand possibility, and not give up on it and not give up on me. And what if you could have that too? Whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's you want to do some kind of like training. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to meet the love of your life. Maybe you desire to have more space and ease with your body. Whatever this is for you. It's not just that one time. Yes, it's a continuous. Yes. Would you be willing to fight for the possibility of the glorious body you'd like to embody? Would you be willing to fight for the possibility of wealth in your life? True wealth, massive amounts of wealth that you keep saying that you want. Are you willing to fight for ease in your life? Are you willing to fight for the gift of you being here? Because you're a possibility. And a lot of people have one back door, maybe a million back doors, and 1 foot half out to even their life, because they're not willing to fight for the possibility of this life. What's the possibility of your life that only you can be here for, that you haven't been willing to fight for? What if you fought for it now? It's not fighting against, it's closing the back doors and being willing to do and be and choose and have and lose whatever it takes to be the possibility that your life is on this planet right now. What would your life be like? Give it a couple months. It's going to change. Might change right away. Might change after this episode. You might want to listen to this one a few more times. Thank you for being. Thank you for being the possibility. Thank you for every time that you fought for possibility. Because we are all part of oneness. We're all together in this. When you fight for possibility for you, it's possibility for all of us. And when we put all our energy to fighting against the system, we all power it. So what possibility are you going to fight for now? Thank you. Yeah. See you in the next episode. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?